Thank God. We are in Taichung.
Yes, it's great to be in Taichung.
Where you guys like to hang out this evening?
Well, I would like to visit the Bongjiang night market. Normally, I hang out with my friends at night markets. By the way, do you guys know where international tourists want to go when they come to Taiwan?
Well, the National Palace Museum.
Taipei 101?
Yes, but according to the survey from the Tourism Bureau, it may surprise you to learn that night markets have surpassed the National Palace Museum and Taipei 101 as the island's hottest tourist attraction.
That's true. Night market not only attract local crowds, but also overseas visitors.
So, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is our pleasure to talk to all of you about the role of night markets in the tourism industry.
We are going to talk about 2 points. First, we'll tell you about the long history of night markets.
Second, we'll speak about some attractive features of night markets in Taiwan.
First of all, let's talk about the history of night markets.
Night markets started from the Tang Dynasty.
Wow, that was a long time ago.
Yes, it was. Night markets are essential to Chinese culture and have been around for more than 1,000 years. During the Song Dynasty, night markets played a central role of Chinese nightlife, and they could be found in corners of large cities. And they were also frequently located near business and red light districts.
During the Qing Dynasty, Han Chinese crossed the Taiwan Strait from Fujian and Guangdong to cultivate Taiwan's undeveloped areas.
Yes, at the same time, Chinese brought the culture of night markets to Taiwan. So night markets have at least 200 years of history in Taiwan.
At least 200 years?
Yes, at least 200 years. At that time, peddlers often carried goods on their shoulder posts and took them to the streets.
As peddlers began to gather more and more in the streets, selling their goods, markets began to emerge.
Yes, agreed. Night markets first started to serve the needs of the worshippers who came to the temples to pray.
When people gathered at the temples, peddlers began to offer different choices of snacks.
Eating snacks beside old temples became a way for Taiwanese to share their joy with their food.
Yes, at that time, people often gathered at temples to pray for peace and security.
During the 1950s, night markets boomed in Taipei due to the increase of migrant workers from the south.
These migrant workers made up a large base of the night market's customers. At that time, night markets started in urban sites.
Most night markets began as small gatherings in the street corners or in temple plazas.
Yes, the vendors also created some simplified versions of banquet dishes, as well as 小吃 in Chinese, which means snacks.
The serving of 小吃 foods attracted people to Taiwan.
Moreover, night markets were joined by retailers who sold agricultural products and handicrafts.
In the 1970s, night markets spread into new suburbs and manufacturing areas. There were also traveling night markets that could even be found in rural towns.
Yes, because of the global recession in 1970s, more products were becoming available to local markets.
So night markets were selling light industry and family-made goods.
By the 1980s, anyone could buy a full range of goods, even in the remote areas.
Yes, at the same time, some traditional products were replaced by higher quality of garments and shoe stores.
In the 1990s, night markets began to embody the local and even the global modern popular cultures.
Hence, some vendors changed from selling traditional foods, handicrafts, to popular, modern, and even global products and foods.
Yes, night markets rapidly responded to new trends by selling popular goods.
Now, in the 21st century, night markets are flooded with the new brands to attract young customers.
These night industry products are selling well, but sadly, they usually come from China.
As we have learned the long history of night markets, let us move on to some attractive features of night markets in Taiwan.
Yet, I think that it's important for us to know about why night markets are attractive to people. In Fengjia night markets, as an example, during the weekday evenings, there are usually around 30 to 40,000 shoppers, while on the weekends or holidays, the number can rise to 100,000 shoppers.
I think one of the most attractive features of night markets is that they offer different choices of delicious local foods as well as international foods.
Some current international food you can find at night markets are like chicken shawarma and Turkish ice cream. In addition, we also found that Fengjia night markets offer snacks from around the world.
At times, a city's particular night market will become well known for a certain type of food that is unique to the area, or that is prepared particularly well there.
For example, Fengjia night market features all kinds of mouth-watering Chinese food. For instance, deep-fried salty and crispy chicken ribs, cheese potatoes, and 4-in-1 combo juice are some famous examples.
In addition, Fengjia night markets is a good example. There are about 15,000 shops, restaurants, stores, and a market. All kinds of fashionable clothing, accessories, toys, and so on are sold in shops or stores.
Most importantly, foods and goods are cheaper here than the restaurants and stores. For instance, foods are offered at low prices, usually around 30 NT dollars to 50 NT dollars for one dish.
Yes, besides food and merchandise, night markets are divided into separate sections for games, like catching goldfish, duck throwing, mahjong bingo, or any number of simple chance games.
So, night market not only attract young peoples, but also peoples of all ages.
In fact, you can find people from all economic classes and all walks of life in night markets, and you can see some foreign tourists over there.
In short, today we talked about the long history of night markets.
We also introduced about some attractive features of night markets in Taiwan.
Night markets are a wonderful tourist attraction, and we can say that there are small businesses which bring big profits.
So we can see night markets has played an important role in modern Taiwan.
So let's go to Fengjia night market this evening.
Agreed!
Agreed.
Fengjia night market is cool. Fengjia night market is hip. Thank you for your attention.